This morning, some states seeing gas prices below $3 for the first time in years. Let's get to CNN's Matt Egan for the good news on this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to finally be here with some good news on the cost of living front. So for the first time in 4.5 years, gas prices are averaging $3 a gallon nationally, according to AAA, down by 7 cents in just the past week. Gas prices were low a year ago as well, but they're even cheaper now. This is encouraging to see because late last month there was a period where gas prices were actually higher this year than last year, but that has reversed again, and now we've just fractions of a penny away from breaking below $3 a gallon. Now, as you mentioned, we've got 20 states across the country where the average is actually less than $2.75 a gallon, including North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Colorado as well. Certainly nice to see this. Why is this happening? Well, it all comes down, of course, to oil prices, right? Oil prices are about $59 a barrel.
Oh, that's a nice looking graph. Now, to be fair, they did start at 55. You usually want your graphs to start at 0. Here nor there. You got to show some sort of differential and change, which is why they're zoomed in. We're going to give them it. But it's coming from FactSet.
This morning, if you look back in history, on December 1, 3 years ago, we're looking at $81 a barrel for oil, $67 even last year. So significantly cheaper. And that's because right now, supply of oil continues to outpace demand. It's U.S. supply. Production in the U.S. is at all-time highs. It's higher than last year, but only a little bit higher. OPEC is the big story, though, right? Saudi-led OPEC, they are ramping up production substantially this year. They've signaled that they plan to pause those output hikes next year. But for now, look, this is a good story when it comes to the affordability crisis. Gasoline, it's relatively cheap.
All right. Well, good news for now, Matt Egan. Thank you.
Suckers. CNN being forced to admit that things are looking good in terms of gas prices, but not for my state. Nope, gas prices are still high here. I just filled up the other day, $5 a gallon. Yep. I know some of you just spit out your coffee. You swerved all over the road when you heard that. Yeah, there's a county. It's I think it's called Minot in California here. That's about to hit $6 a gallon. In California. Things are going to get worse here, and we have this warning, this SOS going up for all of you right now. Remember, this is Gavin Newsom's state. Democrats have been running this bad boy for quite some time. It's bad. Real bad, folks. So California's energy crisis just went, I don't know, from bad to, let's say, catastrophic. There's a brand new report that came out, and it's actually down way at the bottom here, where it warns that if one more piece of the state's oil infrastructure collapses, especially the San Pablo Bay pipeline, the consequences will cascade across the entire state. And that means gas shortages, refinery shutdowns, skyrocketing prices, and even national security risks, actually. And the worst part of it is this entire crisis, and that's what it is right now in the state of California, is purely self-inflicted because these people are idiots. They are, that run this state. For decades, California politicians intentionally strangled their own oil industry to make way for, yes, that fancy word, and they love it, green energy, clean air. We don't want to breathe in that smog anymore. Neither do I. But at what cost? So what they did for this green energy initiative was they shut down oil refineries. They blocked drilling permits. They sued energy companies. And if you read through this article, they imposed the strictest fuel regulations on Earth. I'm being very careful with my wording here. I'm going to say that again. Impose the strictest fuel regulations. Come here. On planet Earth. You're not going to find any more stricter regulations on this entire rock that we live on. Global. Hello? These people are idiots. They're dumb. Big dum-dums. And here's the kicker. I know, yes, there's more. They're blown away. They can't believe this is happening. They're so dumbfounded up there at the Capitol in California, they can't wrap their head around it. So now, guess what? The bill's coming due. Oh yeah, things are coming to a point. So the numbers that you're going to see here, they don't want you to see. But you know what? We're going to expose this bad boy from the California Globe. Shout out to the California Globe for writing some damn good articles and just bringing the truth. And I'll tell you what, folks, this stuff that we're talking about is coming from USC professors, UC Berkeley professors. These aren't exactly, I don't know, right-wing people. I hope you're sitting down for what I'm about to read you. I really, really do. Because it's bad. The state of California has lost 65% of its in-state oil production since 2021. Well, 2001. At the same time, its dependency on foreign oil imports has shot up 70%. So hold on a second. Your whole new green initiative was supposed to be all about being green, but all you did was shift where the oil was coming from. And matter of fact, if you read in this article, and the USC professor right here that we were highlighting before, Professor Michael Mish, he was the one that was talking on KFI yesterday, the radio show, and he brought to light saying that it actually would have been more green energy and less carbon emissions if you actually produced it here in the state, because now you have these giant tankers having to come across the freaking globe to bring the oil here. So it would have been cheaper to produce it here. But no, it's all about green energy. Sure it is. They're bought off by all these foreign companies. Give me a break. So think about just how insane all of this is. The state is sitting on 2/3 of America's shale oil reserves. What they call the Monterey Shale. Now imports the majority of its oil from Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, Canada, even Russia before the sanctions. So, yes, California spent years attacking American producers while buying foreign oil from dictatorships. You can't make this up. You couldn't. Gavin Newsom is going to run in 2028, and I pray to God all of you are aware of what will happen. Please. Yes, I'm being an extremist right now. Yes. I am so close to saying he's going to be worse than Joey, because Joey was just an idiot and he had idiots running the government for us. Gavin Newsom's some next level idiot. And the problem is he's the one that's going to be running it. And idiots do idiotic things. We're not done yet. Oh, no. Oh, it gets worse. Yes, it does. Well, refineries are dying off, and we talked about this a few months ago. Check this out. In the 1980s, you just want to guess how many oil refineries we had in the 1980s? We had 43 refineries in the state of California. 43. A 4 and a 3. Today, I just want you to just guess how many oil refineries are left. 7. 7 oil refineries are left. And it's no, hold on. I'm not done yet. Yeah, pull over. Of those 7, 2 more are predicted to shut down by January of next year. Matter of fact, one of them is already shut down. This article is not actually up to date. One of them is already shut down. News reports just came out yesterday that the other one was supposed to close down in April of next year, in 2026, and that allegedly they're shutting down now in January, in a matter of a month. So really, there's only 6 that remain, and there's only going to be 5 that remain starting January, allegedly. Those refineries produce what's called carbob gasoline. It's a special California blend. They call it the California only fuel formula that almost no refinery outside the state can actually make. So when California shuts down a refinery, guess what? There is no backup. There is no replacement. There's no alternative supplier. And if the San Pablo Bay pipeline collapses, which engineers say is imminent, because they don't update anything here in this state, Northern California, where that's at, loses its only remaining pipeline that can deliver in-state crude. And that's why that report at the bottom of this article warns the consequences would cascade across the state. I mean, they're already the highest in America. The national average is what, $3 you saw on CNN? California's average is $4.56. We're paying $1.55 more than anybody else in the union, practically on average. Mono County, thought it was Monroe County. Mono County, $5.90 per gallon they're paying in the state of California. And that new academic study that I was showing you warns that prices could double by late 2026 if the pipeline fails or another refinery shutters. So basically, if there's any sort of, I don't know, natural disaster, some psycho lefty wants to light the thing on fire, or there's an explosion or something stupid happens, being effed is a whole nother word. To give you a perspective here, California already pays 51% more for gas than the rest of the country. No other state comes even close to that, you guys. Not even close. Meanwhile, demand is going up. It's not going down. So this is kind of you're getting kind of punched over here by Gavin, and then you're getting punched over here because everybody else, because you're fighting with all these illegals to get gas. But guess what happened? Gasoline demand hasn't dropped. It's actually gone up 7.5% since 2020. The reason why that's a big deal is because California politicians have spent years predicting that EV adoption would collapse gasoline demand. Everybody's going to drive EVs. Yeah, the electric vehicle, the mandates we're going to force you to buy an EV. You're not going to be able to buy a gas-powered engine in California at some point. Because they're idiots. They're stupid. They don't realize that when you force people to do something, it turns out they do the exact opposite. They've studied this before. This is not anything new. The most famous one would be over there. I think it's in Scandinavia or the Nordic countries. One or the other. And they tried to force women to do kind of manly jobs or do like kind of male gender behaviors. And it turns out that you actually got the opposite. You got more of a split in gender roles. And they did that with the males too. Because Gavin's too busy doing his hair and trying to look good for the ladies, and the ladies are salivating over it. These suburban women. We're all getting shot in the foot here. And these same suburban women are the ones that are complaining about the gas prices. I mean, let's think about that. And if you're new here, do you want to know how I know? Because I've debated them on TikTok. I've debated these suburban women on TikTok that live in California. Yes, I have. They love this guy. And they are complaining about gas prices. These same women that have minimum wage hikes all the time in the state, they vote for it and they're so excited about it, are the same ones that are complaining about the price of their food being so expensive. These are nurses. These are teachers. They're educated people that I'm talking to on TikTok, on social media, reading their posts, looking at their stupid videos. Yes, educated. That's why experts from USC here and UC Berkeley are now warning that California is heading towards a full-blown energy emergency. Foreign dependence is now a national security threat. So here's the detail that's not in this article, but that all of you in other states have to know about. I might as well take the article off because it's not even on there. The Pentagon has already expressed concern that California's collapsing fuel infrastructure threatens military readiness on the West Coast. We got a lot of bases here. You got San Diego. You got Camp Pendleton. You got a lot of stuff that's south. The Navy, the Air Force. Stationed in California rely on stable local fuel supplies to operate. So to give you an idea here, this is just ones that I had to figure out what was even in the state of California. And there's more. So you have the Pacific Fleet operations. You have strategic bombers, domestic training flights, supply chain logistics, rapid response missions, and more. But now California is forced to import more jet fuel from China and India, something virtually unheard of just a decade ago. I don't know if you haven't realized this, we're not exactly the best of friends with China. And as much as you want the media and Trump to believe we're the best of friends with India, not exactly. There was a military analyst that said this, quote, if California can't put fuel in its own bases, America can't project power in the Pacific. You got to ask, well, what's the solution to all this then, Brad? You're just moaning and complaining for the last 20 minutes. Well, the solution in the report is actually pretty blunt. California must reopen the Las Flores Canyon pipeline and restart offshore production in the Santa Ynez unit. Because what that will do, if you read this, that alone, just that pipeline right there and the production would add 45,000 barrels per day immediately. Snap of the fingers. And in the long term is going to produce up to, and it says it right here, up to 100,000 barrels per day could be produced. And then 350,000 barrels already sitting in storage waiting to be shipped. And that's going to be read right here. So what this would do for the knuckleheads in the chat that are in the state of California that love Gavin Newsom and can't figure this out, and some random dude in his closet has to do it for you. Let me spell it out clearly. What this effect would do if we just did that very simple thing of reopening that pipeline and restarting offshore production in the Santa Ynez unit. Well, it's going to lower prices. And what would help tremendously is it will stabilize refineries. It would keep the last remaining pipeline alive, reduce tanker traffic, cut dependence on foreign suppliers, improve national security. I don't know, even reduce environmental seepage. Yes, offshore oil naturally leaks through the seabed if not captured. I know. But, yes, big but if the state refuses, because California's political class is controlled by what energy experts call the green mafia, activists more interested in symbolism than survival, we're doomed. I don't get why Gavin doesn't get it, but it doesn't matter what I think. The guy's an idiot. And you, please, I'm not exaggerating when I say he is dumbfounded. He is absolutely shocked. He can't believe it.